Okay, so we had quite a bit of a major development on the field of Xbox and Microsoft. So, Series X got first leaked by some kind of unknown source. And not only was it the details surrounding the price and the release of the Series X, because up until this point, we already knew everything that had to do with the specs, the performance, yada yada, but it was mainly the release date and the price, because we're all chomping at the bit for these companies to tell us how much the console is going to be and when it's going to release. More importantly, out of the two, how much it's going to cost, because at this point in the game, so late in the game, people need to start budgeting, all right? Adding a console to the household is like adding a piece of furniture for some of us gamers, especially hardcore gamers, and most especially hardcore gamers that also happen to be content creators, where a part of their livelihood relies on unboxing said console, reviewing said console, doing performance testings and streams off of it to YouTube, Twitch, and etc. So, to be honest, we're almost in an area where it could almost be labeled as a little selfish and nefarious for companies like Microsoft and Sony to keep the price close to the chest, because it's like, hey, we got to start saving up. Some of us have things going on in our life that require attention to the money, so we got to realize how to make budgeting and things fit within our checkbooks work. So somebody ousted not only the mainline Series X console from Microsoft, but also the cheaper, budget-friendly Series S. And in order to combat the leak, Microsoft went ahead and confirmed the leak to just try to stay ahead of it, because when leaks happen in game releases or releases for some kind of pop culture media or politics, you got to stay ahead of the leak. You got to control the story. And therefore, Xbox made it official, keeping with the trends, keeping up with social media presence by adding memes and such. And they confirmed the existence of the Xbox Series S, the pricing for the S, and the pricing and release date for both consoles, the Series X and the Series S. Series S and Series X consoles are both going to be releasing on November 10th, which, if I'm not mistaken, let me actually check right here. So might actually create a little bit of a presentation type of look here. So let me see if I can do this. Oh, nice. So let me open up a browser. I'm actually going to bring you guys a little bit of a template here. Booyah. Okay. Cool. All right. So we got right here Xbox Series X comparison chart. The best website. The Xbone, or the Xbox Series X. That's the thing. That's actually the only one appreciative thing that I am about the name, is that the one is out of there. The one was just confusing to me from the get-go. So the Xbox One X and Xbox. See, I'm already doing it. Xbox Series S and X are going to be releasing November 10th. The Series S is going to be priced at a too good to be true $299. And the Series X is going to be priced at $499, which is closer to what speculations were led to believe, except $499 is still rather enticing. The main differentiators is that, of course, the Series S is going to be all digital. Series X is going to have your 4K UHD Blu-ray drive. Both are going to have the same, I believe it's the same GPU, but they're going to have different specs within each one. So you got different teraflops and different gigahertz. Like the GPU on the Series X is going to be having a 1.8 gigahertz speed, whereas the GPU on the Series S is going to have a 1.5 gigahertz speed. CPUs are both going to be Zen 2 cores, but the CPU on the Series X is running 3.8. Actually, no, the processor. I thought it was the processor as well. No, my bad. I stand corrected. Processor's looking about the same. Memory bandwidth is a little different. You got 10 gigabytes at 6 gigabytes, and then 8 and 2. And then RAM. Big differentiator here. 16 gigabytes of DDR6 RAM on the X. Only 10 on the S. So as far as like having an awful lot of virtual memory, or certain apps kind of running in the background, like some kind of streaming service like Netflix or whatever, since Xbox is always striving to be an entertainment system, it's gonna be running a little more power and more caboose over on the Series X. And so performance is gonna be still a little mitigated on the Series S, because ultimately am I skipping frames? Yeah, well, Series S is gonna be all digital. Series X is gonna have the disk drive, so you can put in a disk there, Snicks. But that's one difference. Difference number two, that is the big takeaway, is that Series X is all about the performance and the resolution without compromise. So you get 4K, 60 frames per second, and the big teraflops to lower, lower load times and stutters and things like that. The Series S is aiming to still deliver ray tracing and good quality. It's just not going to be at 4K. It's going to be It's going to be capped at 1440p, which is almost like a Quad HD or 2K HD. And those are the two main takeaways. So one disk drive, one all digital, and then the Series X is all about your 4K 60. Series S is all about getting the in-game performance as far as like character models and AI and load times and all that stuff with the SSD. But your resolution is not going to be at 4K. It's going to be at 1440p, and I'm going to have to see here. I believe it lets you know right here. Where is it? Both of them are going to have an SSD, except the Series X is going to have a 1 terabyte. The S is going to be 512, so half of that. But both are going to be supporting ray tracing. So, there you go. Native 4K, 8K support up to 120 hertz on the X. 1440p, and then 4K support through playback or upscaling, aka the movies will be in 4K but not in playing. 1440p is really what it's striving for. So those are your main differentiators that you need to take away from these two consoles. But the pricing is immensely enticing and really, really good in my opinion. Now, is it worth? Whoa, let's minimize it right here. Is it worth for me to pick one day one? Because I think somebody in the chat right now, I think it was Blorp, said, are you going to be getting a Series X? Or I think maybe the better question, are you going to be getting one of these consoles? Because one looks like a fridge, the other one looks like a drive-through speaker box. And they knew these memes were coming. Actually, I think I might be wrong, but I think at one point I did see Xbox retweeting some of the memes, so they're taking this in good spirits. And that kind of attitude combined with the price point, Microsoft is really, feeling like a very inviting, they're creating a very inviting product for gamers. Am I going to get it? No. Because this leads to what, in my opinion, is probably, a big... well, maybe not a big, but just a theory that I have yet to hear from anyone, but maybe somebody else might have already mentioned it, and if anybody has, feel free to tag me or reference it to me, send me through Discord, send it through me through DMs on Twitter, whatever. But I honestly feel that the only reason why, or one of the main reasons, not the main reason as to why we ended up getting a $299 and $499 price tag on the Series S and Series X respectively, is because of Halo Infinite's delay. I think this is them becoming self-aware that since they, right now, out of this moment, there's no key definitive launch lineup for this console, then we got to get them with the price. Because think about it, the prices sound good, right? What games are coming out launch day that are exclusive or scream at you saying, get it on the Xbox? You could maybe make the argument for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because that's coming out day and date, November 10th. Cyberpunk is going to get its update in the future, but that's not even going to be day one. The game is probably going to be day one, but the actual update that's going to make you realize, oh, this is why I bought an Xbox, that's not coming out day one. That's going to be probably spring of 2021. So what is there? Halo got delayed. What is there? So that's the reason why I'm not getting it, sadly, despite the pricing being so good. But I think my perspective is that the only reason why the pricing is so good is because of that delay. I honestly think that if this thing was coming out alongside Halo, they probably would have priced it at either $599, the Series X at least, $599 or $549, and then the Series S would have been $499 or $449. That's my hot take that nobody cares about. But I just thought I would throw that out into the ether, is that I think it's the delay that they wanted to see what the reception was like. And when they started to notice a lot of people saying, yeah, I'm not getting the Series X, it's all about PlayStation now, then we got to get them with the price. We got to get them with the bang for your buck, which is that you're getting all this price for all this performance that can pay you off in the long run, even though you're probably going to have to wait a good chunk of time to really get your feet wet with what the performance on these consoles can do with those games that you genuinely want, even if they are sweetening the deal with not just the price point of the consoles, but also bundling in Game Pass. Especially with the deal that they got going on, where for $400 you get the Series S and 2 years worth of Game Pass. That's them saying, hey, you get all these games. It may not be the games that you want, but you'll have games to play with graphic upgrades and things that can benefit your Series X, so that you can kind of get hooked and enticed into being like, well, that game that I found on Game Pass, I really liked it. They're making a sequel and it's going to be coming soon. Halo's going to be coming to Game Pass. Every game that was shown at that last Xbox showcase is going to be coming to Game Pass, but just not day one. You're just going to have to play the waiting game. Okay, but we got your money. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not even saying that in a very negative, not even in a very jaded or cynical way. I'm actually saying that more in like, hey, this is how business kind of works way. And that's just my little mini conspiracy, is that the prices are only that because Halo got delayed. They don't have a definitive killer app. And just because of this, I'm not going to immediately say that Sony is off the hook. Because right now, if Miles Morales is the only thing coming launch day for the PS5 and they price that motherfucker, that's another thing that I'm worried about, is that with Xbox going first with this price, knowing very self-aware that they don't have a killer app, which was delayed until next year because of what they needed to polish up, because after that gameplay showcase with Halo Infinite and all the memes with Craig and everything that came out of it, this also makes me nervous for PlayStation, because now this gives PlayStation the leeway to be like, well, the price is out there, and they know that they're somewhat defeated, because otherwise they wouldn't have gone for that price. We can charge you dumbasses all we want. As much as I love PlayStation, I'm nervous that this is going to create a little, I don't want to say monopoly, but more like a company that's going to rest on the laurels too much, and then they're going to come out with a price. It's going to be either a week before or after the Xbox Series X Series launch, and they're going to be like, $5.99 bitches, which is not terrible of a price, but I'm even worried that they might even go $6.49 or $6.99, because I'm honestly not even ruling that out. I'm honestly not even going to rule out the prospect that Sony can just charge whatever they want, because they know that we're just going to wait on the Series X now that their killer app got delayed. Then PlayStation are going to be like, well, you want this, right? But to be honest, and I'm going to put this on the record here, if that price point is near the $700 range and the only thing we're getting is Miles Morales launch day, as much as I love PlayStation, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to have to wait on both consoles, save up my money, move out, and try to put a dent in the good old-fashioned backlog. I see that you made it to the end of the video. Good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to catch more of this glorious content, don't forget to catch some of my live streams on either Twitch or Facebook Gaming. Dark Spider David is the username. Links are in the description. And then, of course, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Stay humble.